Blog Talk Radio.
Hello everyone, this is Lori Smith on blogtalkradio.com. It is January 26th, 5:30 in the morning here in Calgary, Alberta. And this is one child abuse survivor to another. I'm just waking up, having some coffee, and just getting ready to start my day. And I hope you all are having a good morning so far. Excuse me. I'm just excited to be here. I do enjoy doing these shows, and I enjoy just sharing information that I find and passing it on to you. And first of all, we are going to continue our topic today on child sexual abuse, and I think we'll just keep going as long as I can get relevant material, and then we'll move on to something else. So I just want to do some housekeeping. First of all, listen to the show at your own discretion. I want to say that none of my shows are professional. I am not a qualified professional counselor or legal representative, and I have no professional certificates in counseling or legal aid. So the opinions expressed on my show when I'm not reading from copywritten material are my own. So I just want to let everybody know this is so important, right? I cannot guarantee the quality or correctness of other websites that I use or refer or reference people to. Do not listen to this show if you are believing it to be a professional show or a professional counseling or therapy session. And also, if you are under the age of 18, please do not listen to this show without consent from a parental guardian or caregiver or parent, someone who they should know what you're listening to, right? And it's very important because this is it's a sensitive subject, and I really think it's very important that people are very aware that you're responsible ultimately for what you listen to, and I'm giving you some good information regarding what the topic is. So if anyone has any sensitivity regarding the topics of this show, which include child abuse, every type of child abuse, domestic violence, sexual assault, all that stuff, please do not listen to the show, as you must be responsible for what you listen to ultimately. And I take no responsibility over that, as I always include the information regarding the topic for each show I do. And that way you can choose for yourselves whether or not to listen to the show. So listen at your own discretion, please. Thank you. This morning we're going to continue right along here. I think child sexual abuse it's an epidemic. We see it in the newspapers, we see it on the news, and it's just everywhere. It's a real problem in society. And most people, because they're powerless to do anything about it, and if it doesn't affect their lives, they don't think much about it. But in the meantime, the people whose lives are being affected by child sexual abuse it's a serious problem. And so that's why I really believe that we all need to be aware of child sexual abuse. It is happening. It happens all over the world, not just in North America. Keep that in mind. I study human rights and child rights around, especially international, and that's why I thought, why not do a show, get involved nationally, right? Because North America has its share of these problems, right? So the world actually has the majority of the share, but North America has these problems. And what's great about North America is that there's, as I'm looking through and researching for my material for school, for MRU, I see that there's a lot of help out there for people. And some of it might not be good help. And, people might, I've heard stories where people say, well, I phoned this one place and, they couldn't help me. And, that's because everyone is strapped financially. All these organizations out here are strapped. That's how many problems, that's how much this is a problem. The resources just are dwindling because there's too many people abusing each other. So really, we need to work on stopping this, right? I'm so glad to raise my voice with all the other people out there and all the other nonprofit organizations out there who are saying stop child abuse, stop abuse of all kinds, right? So I'm happy to be here this morning, and I thought we'd continue on reading about, we actually finished up Little Warriors, what I wanted to read off of Little Warriors regarding child sexual abuse with the 15 lures. That was yesterday morning. That was really interesting, the 15 ways that people trick and manipulate children into child abuse and child sexual abuse. And that's so important for parents to know what to tell your children, because there is a way to talk to your children about child sexual abuse, at different ages they can hear and understand different things. And there's parenting tips on all these different websites. You just get on there, and Little Warriors is one, www.littlewarriors.ca. And then there's the Help Guide. Help Guide is really good. I like the Help Guide website. They have lots of good information there, and that's what I'm going to read from today. We already covered this in another talk that we did about child abuse and neglect, but I'm going to read the part again where they were talking about child abuse. It says, child sexual abuse, a hidden type of abuse. This is the article that's coming up. So if you are sensitive to this, please do not listen. Go find another show to listen to. My main goal is child abuse prevention, child abuse awareness, and advocating. So please, please do not listen to this show if you are sensitive to these subjects or you feel that it just might really upset you. So this is for people who are in, actually a lot of people who are out in the advocating and awareness and prevention industry, or either that, they are survivors who really want some good information on how to heal. So, please beware that you need to find another, something else to listen to if this might bother you. Thank you. This is http://helpguide.org. And child sexual abuse, a hidden type of abuse. You can pull this article right off their website, and the name of the article is called Child Abuse and Neglect, Recognizing and Preventing Child Abuse. So you can just go there on their website, helpguide.org, and type in the browser there and pull that up, and you can actually read along with me because I'm just reading right from the page, right? And the material was good. I really like Help Guide because they're very, it's easy to understand, and it just sticks to the point. I really like their material because it just sticks to the point. So we'll just start reading right now. Child sexual abuse, a hidden type of abuse. Child sexual abuse is an especially complicated form of abuse because of its layers of guilt and shame. It's important to recognize that sexual abuse doesn't always involve body contact. Exposing a child to sexual situations or material is sexually abusive, whether or not touching is involved. It says, while news stories of sexual predators are scary, what is even more frightening is that sexual abuse usually occurs in the hands of someone the child knows, and should be more frightening is that the child knows. Sorry, guys. It says here, while news stories of sexual predators are scary, what is even more frightening is that sexual abuse usually occurs at the hands of someone the child knows and should be able to trust, most often close relatives. And contrary to what many believe, it's not just girls who are at risk. Boys and girls both suffer from sexual abuse. In fact, sexual abuse of boys may be underreported due to shame and stigma. And we were talking about that last night on my show, Child Abuse Prevention and Human Rights Abuse Prevention is Up to Us, because I'm covering the male victim in domestic violence and sexual abuse. And it's so true. Boys and girls both are susceptible to abuse. Anyone is, right? So the problem of shame and guilt in child sexual abuse, this is what they say right here. Aside from the physical damage that sexual abuse can cause, the emotional component is powerful and far-reaching. Sexually abused children are tormented by shame and guilt. They may feel that they are responsible for the abuse or somehow brought it upon themselves. This can lead to self-loathing and sexual problems as they grow older. Often either excessive promiscuity or an inability to have intimate relations. And we see this. I see this in myself. I'm a victim of child sexual abuse. The shame of sexual abuse makes it very difficult for children to come forward. They may worry that others won't believe them, will be angry with them, or that it will split their family apart. Because of these difficulties, false accusations of sexual abuse is not common. So if a child confides in you, take him or her seriously. Don't turn a blind eye. That's what they said here on helpguide.org, that most children do not raise false accusations about sexual abuse due to the very nature of it. If a child confides in a person that they are being abused in any way, you should do something about it. But especially, anyway, it doesn't matter if it's a sexual abuse, physical abuse, verbal abuse, emotional abuse. It just doesn't matter. All abuse is serious and can lead to death. We see so many children, all in the news, are being killed at the hands of caregivers and parents and other people that get a hold of them. So, if a child discloses abuse to you, we actually looked at that last week. There are ways that you can handle it, and you have to be very careful how you do handle it. But you do want to handle it. Do not brush it off and just say, "Oh well, it's not my business," or you could save that child's life. That's my big thing. I just don't like to see the reports in the paper coming out saying, with another child dead at the hands of a caregiver um, due to physical abuse, sexual abuse, or all of the above. It really has to stop. Parents have to stop killing their kids, first of all, and it's sad because those parents are there's obviously something wrong with them. You know what I mean? Because how you can do that to a child is beyond me. I don't think my mom used to threaten to kill me, but she never did, I think, attempt to kill me. She just would become so violent that she could have killed me. So there's the difference. There's people out there who don't intend to kill their kids, I'm sure, but they get out of control because they have mental issues, or perhaps they're on drugs, alcohol, that type of thing. They might have, I think that has a lot to do with it, mental issues, and if they are stressed out and using drugs and stuff, maybe that can really lead to stuff like that, psychosis and stuff. I can't imagine how somebody can actually want to kill their child. There are cases, we see it in the news. So if a child comes to you and says, hey, my parents do this, or my brother did that, or my aunt did this, or my grandpa did that, make sure that you, or grandma did that, make sure that you do not turn a blind eye. That's what I have to say for all the parents out there, or anyone who will be a parent. Make sure that you get help for kids. Help for child sexual abuse. They have this listed right on their page here, 1-888-PREVENT. And that's 1-888-773-8368. That's down in the States, I'm sure. Here's another one. It's 1-800-656-HOPE. And that's the RAINN, Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network. RAINN, RAINN. And there's just some numbers that you can phone if you think your child is being sexually abused, or if you are being sexually abused. Make sure you get help. This is so important. We have about 3 minutes left on the show. We're going to keep going. Warning signs of child abuse and neglect. We already went through that. So I think tomorrow we're going to go ahead and move on with another article that I had found regarding adult survivor issues of child abuse, child sexual abuse. So this is so important. I hope you all reach out and get some help, professional help, and that's what I say on every show, because professionals are trained to help. They know how to help, right? Make sure that you do reach out and get some help. I probably will down the road myself. I wanted to just mention some websites here. These are some great websites, and I just think it's just worth bringing up. They're all worth bringing up. Everything I choose is good because and I still have more that will be coming. Right, the Silverbraid.org. The Silverbraid Survivors of Sexual Exploitation Network is the voice of Voices for Justice Network. And they have a toll-free hotline, 1-888-702-7273. They have Safe Homes for Adults and Minors database with 25 cities partnering down in the States with Rescue and Restore Victims of Human Trafficking campaign. They have all kinds of networks within to help people who are survivors of sexual abuse, and also who are experiencing sexual abuse. That is silverbraid.org, SILVER, and then BRAID, silverbraid.org. I am a volunteer for Dream Catchers for Abused Children, and you can find their website typing in your browser, http dreamcatchersforabusedchildren.com. And that website is awesome. This is Sandra Potter. She's the founder and the CEO. Our mission is to educate the public on child abuse signs, symptoms, statistics, intervention, reporting, prevention, to assist victims, survivors in locating the proper resources to help achieve and enable a full recovery. And they are a 501c3 not-for-profit child abuse organization dedicated to child abuse, neglect, awareness, and prevention. And I highly recommend their website. I volunteer for them, happy to stand with them. I also know a good friend of mine, Linda Lee. She was involved with the Child Abuse Monument. You can find that just by typing in Child Abuse Monument, but you can get it at www.irvingstudios.com. And Linda Lee has a couple of groups, and they are child abuse survivor groups, Stop Child Abuse, and Stop Child Abuse Women Only. There's all kinds of groups on there. You should check these websites out. http://lindalee.ning.com, and these are support groups started by Linda Lee. She was actually a participant in the Child Abuse Monument and has a website at www.artbylindalee.com, and that's an awesome website. Lots of resources and all kinds of good information, links, suicide prevention, child abuse prevention links. You want to check that out. It's a great website, and the groups are great. I belong to both of them. Then there is We Are Adult Survivors of Child Abuse and Neglect by E. Diane Champay. This is www.wearesurvivors.org. Thanks a lot, everyone. Have a great day.